Hi everyone, this is CA Harsha Buddala. Today we are going to discuss a very important and interesting topic called the Great Nicobar Project. Now, what is this Great Nicobar Project? Now, this Great Nicobar Project is a comprehensive project which consists of international container transshipment terminal and constructing a greenfield international airport, development of a township and an area, and power plants. So these four parts, if you ask me the major components of Great Nicobar project, I would say that these four are the major components of the Great Nicobar project. Now let us try to understand each aspect or each component individually for a better clarity, so that we can understand what is this Great Nicobar project and what is the crucial role it is playing in the Indian global arena and the international trade aspect. Now first one, ICTT, that is International Container Transshipment Terminal. Now what is this International Container Transshipment Terminal? Let us try to understand with a very simple example. Okay, let us assume and let us assume there is an huge vessel. We will call it as ultra large container ships. Ultra large container ships, ULCS. There is an ULCS, okay, belongs to a shipping company called Maersk. MERSK, Maersk. Maersk is a shipping line company and it is having one ultra large container ship, like which is having a huge capacity, that we'll call it as ultra large container ship. Now China had engaged an ultra large container ship belonging to this company called Maersk. Now what this ultra large container ship will do, it will deliver the goods from China to different countries. Now the origin point was China. The origin point was China and the ultimate destination was Netherlands country in Europe. This is my example just to make you understand the concept of international container transshipment terminal. I am taking this example. So one ultra large container ship is there. It is transporting goods from China to an European country called Netherlands. Now, do you think when China is exporting countries, now many countries are importing goods from China. So in this container, do you think China will export only the goods belonging to one European country? No. It will send the goods belonging to many countries. Like I have orders from various countries. All those orders I will try and load it in one container, one ultra large container ship, and I will send it. So these two, China and Europe, are only my origin and destination points. Let us assume it also includes goods belonging to countries like Philippines, okay, and also Singapore, and also Myanmar, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, and also Yemen, Oman, like that. I don't want to extend it. I am just keeping it very simple with a very simple examples. Now, before going to this aspect, I just want to show you how the international sea route will be, especially for this case. Now, any country which is there in the East Asian countries, the East Asian countries like China, Japan, Taiwan, Philippines, all these countries will use a major sea route. This is that major sea route. Now in this sea route, the very important point was this strait. Strait is nothing but a narrow water passage. A strait is nothing but a narrow water passage. Now what is the name of this narrow water passage? This is called as Malacca Strait. Malacca Strait, a very important point, a very important narrow water passage. You just remember that. I will discuss detailedly subsequently what is this Malacca Strait and all. Now coming to our sea route again, from China the ship got started and it will travel like this. This I am telling the route. Again it will enter the Indian Ocean. From Indian Ocean like this it will enter to Red Sea. Via Red Sea it will come to Suez Canal, and through Suez Canal it will come through Mediterranean Sea. This is what the international sea route. Okay, now in this process are you expecting, or what I am trying to say was, do you expect the ultra large container ship belonging to Maersk will stop at each and every country, like from here once it started in China? Do you think that it will stop at Philippines port and it will unload the goods, and again it will come to Singapore port and it will unload the goods, and again it will come to Myanmar here and will unload the goods, and again it will come to some port in India, unload the goods? Sorry, before moving from Myanmar, it should again go to Bangladesh, unload the goods, and again it should come to some port in India, unload the goods, and after that it should go to Pakistan, and after that it should go to Yemen, Oman, some Gulf countries, and again going to Europe. Do you think this is how the shipment will happen? No, absolutely no. This is not the way. No, why it will not happen? Because there are two challenges, two to three challenges. There are many challenges, frankly speaking, but I will highlight only the major things. The first one was, for an ultra large container ship to dock the ultra large container ship, a deep water draft is required. Is a technical term called deep water draft, or I can also say that deep water depth. See, container, a ship with imagine a ship having a huge quantity of goods. Now it definitely need a water space also more, because if the water depth is very low, the ship can get stuck with the land mass, and that will cause a lot of issues, that ship may even not function properly also. So definitely to dock the ship, there should be a very good water depth, that we will call it as a deep water draft. Now whatever the ports or whatever the countries we are discussing here, do you think all these countries or all these ports will have deep water drafts? No, may not be deep water draft, because for a deep water draft to dock, there should be a large water draft, that is water depth. There should be a good amount of water depth, and also this ultra large container ship needs a lot of very high turning radius, and also the dock size also should be very high. So all these things are required, so or imagine that there was a very small airport here, a very small airport, like I can say the example of the airport in Lakshadweep Agatti. The runway was very small. Do you think a big Boeing aircraft or a big aircraft, Airbus aircraft, can land in that small runway strip which was there in Lakshadweep Agatti? No, it is not possible. Similarly, all the ports in various countries cannot accommodate these ultra large container ships. And also, not only this problem, there is another problem also, that is huge cost is involved. And why huge cost is involved? Because at each and every place it have to stop. Wherever it stops, it should have to pay docking charges, unloading charges. Okay, they will not simply say, for example, you are having a chartered flight, you want to land it in Hyderabad international airport. Do you think that you can just like that land? No, you have to pay landing charges to the airport authorities. So similarly, whenever you want to dock your ship, you have to pay docking charges. And also there are different other charges and other fees which you have to pay. So cost will increase, and also the transportation time also will increase. Whenever the time is increasing, the cost will automatically increase. So that is the reason why, these are the two major reasons why, like, ultra large container ships cannot go to each and every port and unload the ships. So here comes the role of international container transshipment terminal. Now what will actually happen, I will explain now. So for example, this ship got started in China. It will travel like this and it will come up to Malacca Strait. Here there is a port called Singapore port. The Singapore port is a very large port. Okay, this is an ICTT, that is International Container Transshipment Terminal. So when it will be called as an International Container Transshipment Terminal, if it can accommodate, if there are deep water berths, if there are many deep water berths in that port, and there is a deep water draft, and it can accommodate ultra large container ships, and it's a strategic location, all these things plays a crucial role to say whether it is an international container transshipment terminal or not. This port in Singapore is an international container transshipment terminal. What will happen now in this container, goods belonging to Philippines is there now, Singapore is there, Myanmar is there, Bangladesh is there. Okay, so all these four countries ka goods they will unload here itself. They will unload here itself. They will not come to each and everything. Now, once the goods got unloaded here, what will happen? Sometimes they can unload the goods belonging to India also. Okay. Now, what? Let us assume India-related goods also they have unloaded here in the Singapore port. Now, what will happen? Now, here comes an role called of a vessel called feeder vessel. Feeder vessel. The ultra large container shipment I can call it as mother vessel, and this small vessels I will call it as feeder vessels. What will happen now? India will send a feeder vessel to Singapore, and also Myanmar, Bangladesh also will send a feeder vessel to Singapore. What they will do, whatever the goods belonging to that countries have been unloaded in the Singapore port by the ultra large container ship, that they will load it and that they will bring it to that country, bring it to their own countries. Okay, so this was the background story. Transshipment is happening, so taking it, unloading from one ship and loading it into another ship and again taking it to their own place. This process is called transshipment, and it is happening at an international level. That is the reason why it is called as international container transshipment. I hope it is clear. Now come back. So this is what the international container transshipment is there. Now I hope we are clear with what is this international container transshipment terminal. Now, the Great Nicobar project. See, if you observe the line here, actually in this map, Andaman Nicobar islands were not there. So generally, it will be like this. Sorry. So the drop of islands will be like this. Now, if you observe the international sea route, so it is passing very closer to the Andaman Nicobar. Now here, the government of India at this point is planning to construct an international container transshipment terminal. So India related, now currently we are using either Singapore related ICTTS or the another one at Colombo. If you observe, Sri Lanka is here. Now Sri Lanka ka Colombo related ICTTS also is there here. Now either India related goods are getting unloaded either in the Singapore port or either in the Colombo ICTTS. Now India wants to develop an ICTTS at Great Nicobar, at the Nicobar Island. Okay, so now what will happen if this happen? Now what advantage we will get if we develop an international container transshipment terminal? See the advantage that what we will get. Now first thing, do you think Singapore country will is loading, unload, is allowing us to see in international container transshipment terminal? What will happen now? Our goods will be first unloaded, and again it will be sorted and it will be kept at a separate place in a warehouse. It have to be kept, and once the feeder vessel comes, these all goods should have to be loaded at that feeder vessel, and that feeder vessel should have to move. Now all these things involves cost or not? And do you think the Singapore port will do it all these things for free? No, it will collect a transshipment fees. First thing, our cost is getting increased. Whenever we are importing the goods, our transportation cost is getting increased because of this transshipment fee also. This is one transshipment fee. And also the other disadvantage of following this, depending upon the Singapore ICTTS or Colombo ICTTS, was there was a maritime dependency. We want a maritime independence. Now what is this maritime dependency means? For example, think in a scenario where India is exporting goods from Visakhapatnam port to let us assume China. From something we are exporting from Visakhapatnam to China. So what route will follow? Obviously we will follow this route. We also again will follow the Strait of Malacca, and from Strait of Malacca, South China Sea, will go to the China. This was the route we'll follow. Now do you think we will see in this process what we will do? We will approach a big shipping company. Now that big shipping company, will it carry the goods belonging to only us, India related goods only they will carry? No, it will carry goods relating to many countries. And also it will be a what? It will be an ultra large container ship. Now that ultra large container ship might be starting from some other country. Let us assume it is starting from Iran or some Saudi Arabia or somewhere, some European country it is starting. Now that ship or that ultra large container ship may not come to Visakhapatnam. Why? Because see, Visakhapatnam is not in the highway route. No, for to come to Visakhapatnam, that ultra large container ship should have to deviate from the international route and it should have to come to there. International seaway, sea route or major sea route. It should have to deviate from here, it should have to come here, and it should have to again go back. So this will not happen practically. Now what we have to do? We have to take these goods from here, from Visakhapatnam, in a feeder vessel. We have to take it through Singapore. Singapore ka ICTTS we have to take. There we have to hand over, we have to unload that goods, and the shipping company, the say for example we have also taken contract with Maersk. When the Maersk ultra large container ship comes, it will load the goods belonging to India into that ship, and then the transshipment will start. Now here, for our business or for our exports, we are depending upon the Singapore port. See, let us assume what is this maritime dependency exactly means. Say for example, we have loaded the goods here. Okay, now let us assume Singapore being an ICTTS, generally huge traffic will be involved, huge congestion will be involved. Now let us assume that any international issues like, see earlier Red Sea issue had happened, Houthi rebels had blocked the Red Sea, and also currently Strait of Hormuz issue is also going on. Like this, if any international issues are happening, what will happen? The congestion or the traffic at the ICTTS will increase. Now whenever the congestion or traffic get increases, your container may or your shipment may get delayed, because this ITTS will give this may not give a top priority for your consignment. They may give top priority to their own companies or to their friendly nations or to some other things. So your container or your consignment may not get the top priority. In such scenario, what will happen? Your shipment will get delayed. So getting shipment delayed in international trade means it is increasing your cost. Your customer will not be happy. So here, getting priority depends upon some other country. It is not in your hand. Even how fast you want to ship your goods to your customer, you can't do that. This is what called as maritime dependency. No, we India don't want maritime dependency. We want maritime independence. Let us assume we have our own ICTTS at a near to the major sea route. We'll have an advantage. What advantage we'll have? Ultra large container ships will directly come to our ports, and we can directly load them into ultra large container ships, and it will directly move. There will be less stops, and the turnaround time also will be less, and it will reach the ultimate destination at the earliest. So I hope I am clear about what is this maritime dependence and independence. So we want maritime independence. For that, this ICTTS is very important. And also the other important point was, look at the strategic location of this Andaman Nicobar Island. It is very closer to this Malacca Strait. This is very close to the Malacca Strait. Now, see Malacca Strait. If you observe, the entire China-related international trade is dependent upon this narrow water passage called Malacca Strait. Now, it is an undisputed fact that India had a complete dominance over the Indian Ocean. Indians are called as the king of Indian Oceans. Okay. Now, let us assume we have an international container transshipment terminal here. Okay, we have constructed, let us assume Great Nicobar project got completed. Now what can happen? We'll have a strategic advantage. We can have a close monitor over what is happening at the Strait of Malacca. Because this port, whatever the international container transshipment terminal we have constructed, okay, we will be having our own ICTTS. That is another point. The other point which I am trying to say was, defense wise or military operations wise, we'll have another strategic advantage, that we'll have a close monitoring over the Strait of Malacca. If any international tensions arises, or if any aggressive actions is being taken by China, we can block this Strait of Malacca also. This is also one of the important option we are having. For that, this international container transshipment terminal at Great Nicobar or at Andaman Nicobar will be very much helpful. Now, keeping aside this military aspect or defense related aspect, if you look at in the economic aspect also, once we develop our own ICTTS, one major aspect will be like we will be saving the transshipment fees. Currently, we are paying a lot of transshipment fee to Singapore port and Colombo ports and all. That will be saved, and we'll be having a maritime independence, that which I have earlier said. And the other thing was, see, look at the route, it was very close to the international sea route. Now here, whatever the sea route we are looking here now, it is covering the goods being moved to many countries like Philippines, Singapore, Vietnam, you know, Bangkok, and also coming to Taiwan, China, Japan. All the ships relating to no, these countries should have to pass in this way. Now definitely we can tap a larger market share for this transshipment industry or this shipping industry. We can tap a larger market. Okay, I hope it is clear now how this international container transshipment terminal is an game changer thing. Okay, so this is what the advantage we will get through this ICTTS. Now coming to the another aspect, especially the military related aspect, some so-called left liberals in this country are coming and saying that this project is completely destroying the environment of the country, and also they are trying to say that there was a huge distance, like let us assume Great Nicobar project is here, there is a huge gap of around 200 to 250 kilometers. How can India can choke this Malacca Strait? So because see, whenever government is trying to put the advantage of this Great Nicobar project, the so-called left liberals in this or pseudo liberals in this country are trying to say that this is a gap, this width was around 200 to 250 kilometers, how can we cover this? Now my question in this regard was very clear. If India can't control Malacca Strait, why China had started CPEC corridor? Why China had started CPEC corridor, that is China Pakistan economic corridor? Now why, what is the intention behind this CPEC corridor? They thought that in future, definitely if we means China, if China do any war action, definitely India will block the Malacca Strait. If India blocks the Malacca Strait, no, China can't purchase any oil, China can't export goods, China can't import anything. No, their trade route get closed. There's a trade route through sea. That is the reason why China had very aggressive in being constructing BRI project, Belt and Road Initiative. In the part of that Belt and Road Initiative only, there is an project called or corridor called China Pakistan economic corridor. Now let us assume India blocked this Malacca Strait. So here their friendly nation was there, no, Pakistan. So here in Pakistan they will unload the goods, and through roadway they will take the goods to China. This is the reason why they have constructed the thought of constructing CPEC corridor. However, it is also failed. India is successful because this China Pakistan economic corridor is passing through POJK, that is Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, which is a sovereign right of this country. How come China and Pakistan construct a road in the landmass of our own country without any permission from us? And we had ensured that the CPEC corridor was not completed. It will not get completed forever also. That definitely Indian government will take care. Already it was a proven thing. It was an closed aspect, China Pakistan economic corridor. This is an answer to the so-called liberals who are saying that this Great Nicobar project, or we can't control Malacca Strait. Whoever is saying to this thing, I am countering that this can definitely happen. CPEC corridor is the result for it. China felt it as a vulnerability. That is the reason why they came up with an idea of CPEC. Now coming to the other aspects, like Greenfield International Airport. Now, why Greenfield International Airport is required? See, definitely Greenfield International Airport is required because we are trying to develop an international business related hub also. So definitely an airport, that too an dual usage airport is very much required. And also developing a township and area development is also very required, because once we construct an international container transshipment terminal, many port workers will come, engineers will be there, customs officials will be there, logistic operators will be there, airport staff, maintenance team, security personnel, healthcare workers, administrative staff, all these people will slowly come to this place. No, definitely thereby there is a very much requirement of developing an township and area. And also power plant to run these sports township and area development, greenfield international airport, and all these things. To do all these things, definitely we need a lot of power. For that we are constructing a power plant. Now coming to the last and crucial aspect, that is the environmental impact. Because whenever any development project is happening, especially in India, many environmental activists and many pseudo left liberal, many intellectuals will come and shout that there is an environmental damage. See, my idea or my understanding is very clear that definitely environment or ecology should have to be protected. There is no any second thought in that. But at the same time, we should not stop development simply for environmental impact. That is the reason we usually do a sustainable development. Now we will not stop development, at the same time we will not neglect the environment also. So India, in this Great Nicobar project, there are many environmental related concerns. Genuine concerns are there. Definitely there is no any second thought in that. But just because there are some environmental concerns, we should not stop this project. Now government, Niti Aayog had done a detailed feasibility study and had given a report to the government of India. And also major point was NGT, National Green Tribunal, had also given clearance to the Great Nicobar project. Now I am going to highlight some important aspect from that from that project report. Okay, so see, initially they have studied different areas. First one was Galata Bay and Anderson Bay, Campbell Bay and Pemaya Bay and Casperin Bay. These are the 5 areas which the government had considered, for constructing the Great Nicobar project. One second. My apologies for the interruption. So these are the 5 proposed areas. These are the 5 proposed areas which the government had considered to develop which area. So that is, simply speaking, site selection to construct the international container transshipment terminal. These are the 5 areas they have studied detailedly, and I am going to discuss about the extracts of that report. Okay. So comparative analysis for alternative sites. So Galatia Bay, Casperin Bay, Anderson Bay, Pemaya Bay and Campbell Bay. These are the 5 areas which government had studied. Ultimately they have selected Galatia Bay. Now first one, proximity to the shipping routes. Now closest proximity is there for Galatia Bay. Now see, in the map also I have shown earlier. So this is the international sea route, right? Now this international sea route is more closer to the Galatia Bay, and cost risk is also minimal in this. And if you observe here, in other bays, risk of rock dredging is higher. Okay, and also land development requires a reclamation of land to develop onshore storage facilities. Now What is reclamation? No, reclamation means nothing but developing a new land altogether on the sea. See, ultra large container ships cannot come to the seashore. It need a deep water draft. Definitely water depth should be higher. Okay, so definitely you should have to increase the land area so that there is a, I mean, you have to increase your land so that the ship can be docked properly at the deep water draft. So reclamation is required in Galtia Bay also, but reclamation is slightly more in this. Reclamation is less, but reclamation required is slightly more, and reclamation required is less when compared with Galtia Bay. See, these 5 sites related they have done in comparison. That I am trying to put. Ultimately, they have selected Galtia Bay because the environmental impact was very least in this. Now, why I am discussing this was the government had selected the project site area where the environmental impact was very minimal. So land development, that is reclamation, is very less in Galtia Bay, and also breakwaters. Breakwaters also required very less. Now what is this breakwaters? See, in sea many tides will be keep on coming and moving. For a port, the water should be very stable. To ensure that the water is stable, they will construct water breakers near to the port. So generally, for example, you might have known that you have studied in your childhood, many of us, that we'll call it as Visakhapatnam as a natural harbor when compared with Chennai port. Why? Because Visakhapatnam port had natural water breakers. That is the reason why we consider it as a natural port. Next one, environmental sensitivity. Here comes the important thing. Now, if you observe the environmental sensitivity, turtle nest, crocodile nest, hill cutting habitation. Very, very important points. So, there was one important highlighted aspect saying that turtle nest will be get damaged, or no, the entire ecology will be disturbed because of this Great Nicobar project. So turtle nest means nothing but a particular area where turtle will lay the eggs, and their newborn babies will be grown to certain extent or certain age. That is called turtle nest. Now what they are saying was, what they have analyzed was, whatever the proposed project size is there, now whether turtle nests are present in that area or not, they have analyzed. Now turtle nesting sites are present at the mouth of Galtia river. These sites will be avoided while planning the development. Now if you observe the remaining sites also, turtle nests are present, turtle nests are present, turtle nests are present. But here no turtle nest is there. Camphor Bay may no turtle nest is there, but if you observe, it is having some other disadvantage, like rock dredging is required, reclamation is more, and also distance is more. Like that, it is having its own disadvantages. Okay, next one, crocodile nest. No crocodile nest is there, no crocodile nest, no crocodile nest, no crocodile nest. Hill cutting. No hill cutting is required in the Galatia Bay. Whereas in some other bays like Anderson Bay, Pamaya Bay and all, significant hill cutting is required. Next one, habitation. Habitation means, see, there was an important concern that there is some tribal groups which were there in the Nicobar area, Great Nicobar area. This tribal group will be completely, it is, some people, they are going to some extent and they are calling it as a genocide. I don't want to use that words, but I'm just saying this tribal related groups. There are some tribals which they are very highly vulnerable to the common man. Like if we go and meet them, they will definitely get catch with some or exposed with some new infections. That tribal group is very sensitive towards meeting the normal people like us. Now, whether that habitation related disturbance is there. So, site away from any habitation, site close to Somfan habitation. It was one tribe. Somfan is one tribe. Site closed at habitation at Campbell Bay. Site close to proposed naval facilities Indira Point and Nicobar is habitation. Site closer to habitation and Innabas facilities. And also next one, dredging. So, dredging is not very much required at Galtia Bay. Sufficient water depth is available. See, what is this dredging? See, definitely to dock the ultra large container ship, they need around 18 to 20 meters depth, 18 to 20 meters depth. So to increase the depth, you have to do some dredging. Okay, so that dredging very minimal is required in Galtia Bay. So like this, government had done all kind of analysis, and they have selected Galtia Bay as a best in the way of strategic positioning and also less environmental impact. So this is all about Great Nicobar project. I have tried to share my understanding. If you really feel this video useful, please like this video and share your valuable feedback in the form of comments, and also share with your friends. Okay. Namah Parvati Pataya Har Har Mahadeva. Thank you. Jai Hind.